"I just want to see my balance," she whispered, her voice trembling as though each word cost her strength she didn't have. The millionaire across the desk raised a brow, a smirk playing at his lips, as if the poor old woman was a joke delivered for his entertainment. He laughed, loud enough for the entire bank lobby to hear. But that laughter wouldn't last. Because when the screen finally loaded, the color drained from his face. And everyone around realized, they had severely underestimated her. Her name was Mary Lawson. 78 years old. Wrinkles etched by time and hardship. Clothes worn yet carefully pressed, showing she still cared about dignity even if life hadn't offered her luxury. She clutched a thin purse against her chest, not out of fear of losing money, but of losing the last memories that purse held of her late husband. Mary walked into the bank after days of hesitation. She wasn't poor, at least not always. Her husband, George, had left her a small savings from his construction job, but medical bills, rent increases, and rising food prices drained everything faster than she expected. Now she lived on prayers and tiny hopes, counting coins to survive each week. Yet today wasn't about bills. Today was about a promise. She approached the counter. The bank's manager, Arthur Hale, didn't bother to hide his impatience. He was a millionaire who believed success made you superior. His suit alone cost more than Mary had spent on clothes in 5 years. When she asked him for help checking her balance, he laughed, because who checks a balance when one has nothing? But Mary stayed calm. Her husband always reminded her, grace is strength, not weakness. So she stood there, head held high, waiting. Arthur tapped on his keyboard, still smirking. But then his eyes widened. His mouth opened but no words came out. He clicked again. And again. Then leaned closer to the screen as if he must have misread. Mary had $2,450,700 in her account. Arthur's smile vanished like a lie exposed to daylight. Mary didn't react to the number. She already knew what she was here to do. Money didn't matter, not anymore. Memories mattered. Promises mattered. Love mattered. She gently laid an old photo on the counter, her husband in a military uniform holding their 2-year-old daughter, Lily. George always wanted Lily to chase her dreams, she said quietly. He saved every dollar for her future. But life got in the way. I made mistakes. Her eyes glistened. I thought the money was gone forever. Arthur finally managed to speak. Where did this come from? George's investments, she answered. A man came to our town decades ago and said he'd help small families invest. I didn't believe him at first. But George did. And this morning, the company called. Said that investment matured. Then she smiled, not in pride, but relief. She wasn't here for her own survival anymore. She was here to finish her husband's dream. I want to give this to my daughter, Mary said. She's a single mom now. Hardworking. Strong. But life has been cruel to her too. Arthur stared at her, a millionaire who had mocked a woman richer in love and purpose than he had ever been, but the story didn't end there. Because when Mary called her daughter, Lily didn't answer. Hours passed. Anxiety gnawed at Mary's chest. She asked Arthur for help, and for the first time, he placed his arrogance aside. He offered a ride in his sleek black car. This woman had changed something inside him. They reached Lily's workplace, a bakery on a quiet street. But the doors were locked. Lights off. A neighbor rushed over. She collapsed earlier, he said. Ambulance took her to the hospital. She worked too hard. Barely slept. Trying to pay rent and take care of her boy. Mary shattered. All the strength she had left drained into the cold pavement. But Arthur caught her before she fell. Without hesitation, he sped them to the hospital. Chapter 2 began not with wealth, but with fear. Mary rushed to the front desk. My daughter, Lily Lawson. The nurse guided her to a room where Lily looked smaller than life itself. Pale. Exhausted. Fragile. Her little son, Daniel, sat beside her, holding her hand with tear-streaked cheeks. Mary broke. "Baby. I'm so sorry," she cried, wrapping her arms around them both. Lily forced a tired smile. "Mom. I was just trying to make you proud." Mary shook her head fiercely. "You already did. Every day you woke up and kept going, that's worth more than any fortune." Arthur stood in the doorway, watching a love he had never known. Something changed inside him, the desire not just to succeed, but to matter. Mary told Lily everything, the investment, the millions, the future George had always dreamed for them. Lily stared in disbelief before tears spilled down her cheeks. "Mom, we can finally breathe," she whispered. "No," Mary corrected gently. "We can finally live." Arthur returned with paperwork. "I'll make sure the funds go exactly where they should. Safely. And if you allow me, I'd like to help more." Mary looked at him, seeing not the millionaire who once laughed, but a man learning humility. "Bless you," she said softly. "Everyone deserves a second chance to be better." Lily recovered. They moved into a little house with sunlight filling every room. Daniel finally had toys he didn't have to borrow. Mary planted roses for George, his favorite. Every bloom reminded her that love, even buried deep, returned stronger. Arthur visited often. He admired how this family valued every simple joy. He used his wealth to support others now, not for reputation, but redemption. Mary never lived like a millionaire. She lived like someone who understood life's real riches. A family healed. A heart transformed. A promise kept, and that bank manager who once laughed, he learned the most valuable lesson: never underestimate someone whose wealth is invisible, because some treasures are built not in bank accounts, but in hearts.